Here we go. So, what organization or organizations do you work for?
Well, I teach at Clemson, obviously, and I design scenery for places like the Warehouse Theater in Greenville, um, Aurora Theater, and Actors Express in Atlanta. I
Cool.
work for Cincinnati Shakespeare in Cincinnati. I'm doing something at Salt Lake City Acting Company soon. I've worked at universities all over the place.
Awesome.
Yeah, I worked in New York for several years,
Cool.
doing Broadway stuff, and
Awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome. My good friend who I went to high school with, he's trying to get his, I don't know what it's called. It's not a green, maybe a green card or his actor's card.
Oh, Actors Equity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's basically saying that he's
AEA.
yeah, a full-time actor and
Yeah.
he's doing nothing
Yeah,
else. Trying to make it
His
for
equity
Broadway.
card, yeah.
Yeah, so he's been doing like 5 plays at one time, pretty crazy. Um, how long have you worked for, I guess, an organization, I guess in Greenville or Atlanta, or how long have you been a set
Well,
designer?
I I have been a set designer for 30 years now,
Okay.
since grad school. And I've worked, I was the associate artistic director and resident designer at Warehouse Theater, but I stopped doing that a couple years ago when I was working here. So,
Got it.
yeah, I've been kind of rolling in and out of theaters for a number of years.
Cool. You like where you are now? Or?
Yeah, I do. It's a different pace. Like when I worked in New York, I loved the work that I was doing, but I got to a point where I was sick of being in a tunnel, on a bridge, on the Jersey Turnpike. I just felt like my whole life was in some form of transportation, and I was either up to my elbows in paint or goop, or I was in a car or a bus, or So I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Exactly. I totally see that.
So here is a lot better because I can actually live life and travel and do some of the things I want to do.
Yeah, you got a good mix instead of just being totally consumed by work, for sure. All right, here's a good one. As a set designer, what are 3 of your main responsibilities, I guess?
Well, to coordinate with the director and the other designers to create an environment that is safe and helps us tell the story.
Got it.
So, we work together. Like reading, I read the script very carefully, and as I'm reading, after having had a conversation with the director, I really think about what that world can be in the given space that I'm working in. So.
Okay.
Every space has its quirks, or sometimes advantages and things that you can really take advantage of. But like, for instance, I just did In the Heights in a theater in Atlanta that's moving to another theater, and I had 2 artistic directors to work with and 2 different sets of ideas, 2 entirely different spaces, and so my job was to make that work in both spaces.
Got it.
Another aspect of the job is to get a package together for the technical director and the scenic painters so that they can realize what is happening. Like, not hey, you realize, but like
Yeah.
actually like physically make things happen. So I have to communicate, and so often that includes drafting, making a model. Doing elevations. Sometimes when I'm doing hands-on work, when I'm going to be in the theater doing a lot of the physical work myself, I don't do as much of that because I'm going to be spending the time on the project later.
Got it.
Yeah.
Would you say it's more, I guess, of a challenge, or did you enjoy it more when I guess, you have like that set design, like you already know it's in stone, or you kind of have like the creative freedom to, I kind of just like interpret it in your own
Well,
way?
I always interpret in my own way.
Yeah.
There's never anything set in stone.
Okay.
If it were, they wouldn't need a designer.
Yeah.
They would just, So, I have worked with some directors who know what they want, and they say it needs to be this. And I have on occasion said, well, then you don't need me.
Yeah.
Why pay me to do what you're just saying? So, but often when a director says, I have this vision, I listen carefully to what they're saying, and just like an interior designer or an architect would do, sometimes people will tell you what they want, and then you can take that and take it to another level and make it better.
For sure.
And so they need somebody who's spatially and visually inclined to help them with that. But yeah, I mean, the fun part of it is, looking at the limited resources that you have and creating something out of them. It's like if you're having a party and you have like crackers and 2 olives and, you know, 1 beef jerky stick, and you know, what can you make with that? And that's kind of the fun thing that, you know, it's like I've got just this stuff to work with.
Yeah.
How do I proceed?
Yeah. So you've probably just always been a hands-on person. Then. That's cool. That's awesome. Okay. Briefly describe your education and career path that I guess led you to being a set designer.
Okay, well, I went to a school for the arts that was specifically for, you had to audition to get in when I was in secondary school, high school. And I went to college for, I have 2 degrees, 2 undergraduate degrees. One's a BA in English with a minor in art, and the other is a BFA in theater with a minor in history. So, and then I went to Florida State University and I got my MFA in scene design, and I went to the Moscow Art Theater to get certification in design. After which I did a little bit of, I did all of my work on ABD in communication, which is not really related, but I mean in some ways it is.
Yeah.
I think that can apply in any discipline. I just didn't finish it. I was doing it because I was teaching at another university, and the department was a combined communication theater department.
Got it.
And I was like, I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Definitely.
but
That's awesome. So you're a rival then, Florida State.
yes, yeah. So when
There we go.
we play Florida State, I'm kind of like, you know, I don't really care about football.
Yeah.
I would say that's still out around here, but it's not my thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been to 1 game since I've been here. And when I was at Florida State, I didn't go to any games. And I lived right next to the stadium.
Really?
So, yeah.
Just always busy, I bet.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I think it's my industry. Like, when our first game is happening, I'm going to be in tech, so I'm not going to it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like my buddy too. My buddy, I'd be like, hey, you want to go get some coffee or something? He's like, dude, I wake up at 6 in the morning and I don't get home until 11 at night. Like,
Yeah.
I'm at the set the entire day. It's crazy. Super cool though. Oh, okay, cool. 5th question's up to me. That's awesome. I guess, what's the most, I guess, gratifying thing for you, like building a set and I guess finishing, and I guess when you end up, I guess, watching the finished result and everything, I guess you enjoy it, like the whole process. I know you enjoy the process, obviously, because it's your job, but
Even tearing it down, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
mind getting rid of stuff. But one of the things that I like to do, and I think part of my work, is figuring out ways to recycle things so that we can use them again.
Got it.
Or giving it to somebody else so that another theater can use it. I hate seeing things go into the dumpster or the landfills. But one of the most gratifying things to me, it really kind of leans in more toward the teaching aspect of what I do. I like having students work on projects with me.
Yeah.
And I like seeing them push themselves out of their comfort zones and achieve something they think they can't do. So I will often take a group of students to work on a play and give them things that I know are just out of their reach, and just help them to get to a point where they're excited about what they've done. So that to me is the reason to combine educational theater and professional theater, to see them grow.
that's cool. That's awesome. Because just for me, I know I'm not going to be anywhere in the theater industry, unfortunately, but I know I don't want to just work a standard 9-to-5 job, and like I want to do something that I love that's hands-on and with people. So that's good to hear that there are opportunities out there where you can do what you love to do.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's cool. All right, I don't have anything else here, so I think that's good to go. We'll click off on this thing.
Yep.